Welcome, everyone, to this June Public Speakers Association Virtual Summit. It's good to have everyone here. I'm really excited about our speaker lineup. We have a lot of great speakers. Our next speaker is LaWanna Parker, and she is a dynamic and versatile host in digital media, known for her engaging presence and remarkable achievements. Her journey began with the prestigious PSA monthly session, where she honed her skills under Jason's guidance. And I'll add that Jason is my predecessor. LaWanna expanded into podcast and internet TV, captivating audiences with insightful content and unique storytelling. She currently hosts Conversations with LaWanna, a popular live show on TikTok, fostering meaningful conversations and a sense of community. Join LaWanna as she brings her charisma and experience to every platform, leaving a lasting impact on her audience. All right, LaWanna, welcome.
Thank you, Brian. I certainly hope I live up to that. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here to speak, and I am so grateful that you accepted me to speak this morning. Before I get started, though, I would like to share a little bit about myself so you can understand some of where I came from. Believe it or not, there actually was a time when I was extremely quiet and extremely shy and just afraid to say anything, to express myself in any kind of way. I just kept to myself. It was like I was invisible because nobody really knew I was around. I mean, how could they? I didn't do or say anything. I actually felt at some point in my life that I didn't belong. And like I was this imposter who was just here taking up space. And I can remember sitting at meetings and gatherings and wanting to speak up, but holding back because I feared my voice didn't really matter, that nobody cared what I had to say. So I just keep to myself and sit there, absorb what I was listening to. But beyond that, that was it. And I have to tell you, this feeling was not a good enough reason to hold me back. So my things, I thank God for mentors and coaches, especially mentors who see things in you that you fail to see. The first mentor I had saw all of these dreams that I had, and she encouraged me. And she would say, LaWanna, I'm here. No matter what happens, I'm here for you. I have your back, girl. Don't worry about it. Everybody feels some point in their life. But all I could think about was, yeah, but I don't know if I want to fail. I want to succeed. But I'm so grateful for her because she pushed me. And later, when I joined Toastmasters, I was fortunate enough to have two people who mentored me, who helped me to get out and speak before an audience, which is something that I had always wanted to do. Stand up before a great crowd of people and just say what I thought. Of course, it can't be just what I thought. Got to be a message to it, but that was how I felt. I just wanted to talk in front of people. I went along with my life, and I got to a point where things started falling completely apart. And I did not feel good about where I was at. I knew I wanted something more, something better. I had no idea how to do it, how to go about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I got deeper and deeper in depression. It became so bad that I actually sat down and started writing about it because I didn't want to talk to people about it. By now, everybody thought I was this wonderful, brave, confident person. So I couldn't let them know that, no, I wasn't. I was hurting. I need help. But how do I ask for it? So I just started writing about everything that I was feeling. Hey, trust me, it was a lot of ranting and boo-hoo, woe is me stuff was in there. But eventually I got down to actually writing what was bothering me. And that was a start for a change in me. You know, they talk about transformation and they make it sound so easy, but transformation is powerful and it can be a little bit scary because it means that you've got to crack the shell of the things that are in there and you have to expose yourself and be willing to accept change. But why is it crucial? Because we need to know how to navigate our past effectively. It isn't about changing our external circumstances. It's about those things that are inside of us that we need to let go of. We need to recognize them. It's about evolving and becoming the person that we were meant to be and aligning our lives with our true purpose. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. The first step in transformation is recognizing that you need to change. This realization can come from longing for something more, a sense of dissatisfaction with what you have, maybe something traumatic that happens in your life. You have to acknowledge need. You have to acknowledge that there's a problem. And the first thing you need to do is recognize that fear and resistance, they are natural companions. Trust me, they are right there. I wrote in my book, fear came knocking on my door. I opened the door and said, come on in. It made itself at home and did not want to leave. It was that was horrible time for me. So I'm going to talk about some things that journaling and working on transforming your life can help you in. And I have 5 things that I want to go through. It's self-reflection, setting clear goals, seeking support, accepting change, and practice. Okay. So let's start with self-reflection. You need to take time to understand yourself, reflect on your values, the things that you're passionate about, what truly makes you happy. And this introspection, it'll help guide you on the journey for your transformation. For me, I had to recognize that I was my own worst enemy. It wasn't what anybody else did or said. It was me because I listened to what they said. And I didn't just listen, I added on. Somebody said, oh, girl, you can't do that. Why you bother wasting your time doing that? And I would, well, you know, they're right. I really shouldn't because I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I? No, no, but not going to do it. Don't worry about it. Not meant for me. And so I was my worst enemy in that sense. I had to learn to stop that. And every now and then, it tries to raise its ugly head back up and tell me, LaWanna, why do you want to go and do that? I mean, really, seriously? And I have to push it away. The second one is setting clear goals. You need to define what transformation looks like for you. And you do that by setting specific goals that are achievable, that gives you a roadmap and it helps you to be able to measure your progress. For me, this year I decided my goal was to speak 4 or more times a month, each month. Yesteryear, I would have said, I want to speak at least 4 times. Now, what's the difference between the two of those? When I say at least, I'm diminishing. It means that, oh, well, if I don't make it, that's okay. But when I say I want to speak 4 or more, I'm saying I am definitely going to meet the minimum requirement of 4, maybe more. I'm happy to say that so far I'm on track, and there have been some months when I have spoken more than 4 times a month. The third one is seeking support. And this is a real toughie because I used to be surrounded by people who, and I know a lot of them call themselves being well-meaning and trying to keep me from making mistakes and being disappointed. But what they were doing, they were tearing down my dreams because they weren't supporting me. They would say things like, well, you know, LaWanna, that really is a hard. And if you don't want to do it, don't worry about it, you know, just find something else to do. Or I don't know why you want to be a speaker. Do you know how difficult that is? How many people out there who are speaking and you don't measure up to them. I know that some of them thought they were keeping me from being hurt and disappointed, but they were trying to destroy my dream without realizing it. And so I had to start weeding those people out. I had to let go of that. Speaking wasn't my only goal. I'd always wanted to write. And boy, did I hear it about that when people found out I was interested in writing. Girl, do you have enough knowledge to write a 200-page book? And if you write it, who's going to read it? Seriously? Do you know how long it takes to write a book like that? Girl, please, you're wasting your time. So I had to walk away from that and find groups that I could say what my dream was, and they would be behind me. They would encourage me, not do the work for me, but they would encourage me to go ahead, take that giant leap and do what you want to do. That meant different networking groups, meeting different people in different areas. And as horrible as COVID was or is, it allowed me to meet people I would have never met had we not gone to Zoom. I know people in so many different countries now. I never would have met those people beforehand because I have two problems. I don't fly, and you're not going to get me on no cruise ship. Sorry. Now I can say, hey, I know so and so here. I've made friends with this person there. So it helped me being part of these networking groups. It helped me to grow and it expanded my horizon. Now, the fourth one is embracing change. You know, you got to accept change. And it's so, oh my God, it's so frightening when you think about it because you get used to doing things a certain way and you're comfortable with doing it that way because you know, you pretty much know what the outcome is going to be and you don't have to worry about it. But change means unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. And yes, you might fall flat on your face. You might even get hurt. But you have to do it anyway. If you want to grow, if you want that dream that you have set for yourself, you've got to be willing to accept those changes. You have to be willing to accept the risks that are involved. You have to be willing to say, no matter what, I'm going to keep pushing forward. And that's the walk that I found myself in. In 2018, I decided to do something I hadn't done before. I'm in probably about 10 or 12 book compilations. But that year, I decided I wanted to write my own book. And you know what I did? I took that journal where I had rant and raved about all the hangups and all the things that were happening to me and why was this going on in my life. And I found the nuggets in there. And I realized I had a book. I could write that problem that I had, not all the ranting and raving, but that problem and what I needed to do to change that. So I came up with 5 steps of things I needed to do, and I put it in there. The result was that I had a book. I published my book. But now that fear was still in me. because it took me, I'm going to say about 2 or 3 months before I told anybody I had published the book. And wonder of wonders, when I told them, people came up and asked me, can I buy a copy of your book? Thankfully, I had some with me. I was so surprised. And then 2 people came and said, could you come to my meeting and speak about how you got started writing your book and what it takes and what you did? And I'm thinking, these people know all the time I could speak. Why didn't they ask me before? But now, because I had a book, all of a sudden, I had elevated myself. So think about that. The final one is practice. Step number 5 is practice. Transformation, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that requires patience and perseverance. And you have to celebrate the small victories along the way in order to stay motivated. Whenever I do something that I'm particularly proud of, for me, means I get to buy a new romance story, get me a nice bowl of vanilla ice cream and a hot cup of coffee or chocolate, sit down in front of my TV and start reading my book. That's celebration for me. That is something I look forward to doing, because everybody who knows me knows how much I love to read romance stories. So today I've shared with you 5 things: self-reflection, setting clear goals, seeking support, embracing or accepting the changes, and practicing. The rewards of transformation are so profound. You'll discover or you become more authentic, and you empower yourself, and you grow, and people look at you differently. All of a sudden they start paying attention to what you're doing, and they ask you questions, and you discover, oh my God, I knew the answer to that. And it's like overnight. For me, it felt like it was an overnight change, but it wasn't, because it's, for me, it started in 2018, and it's been a rough up and down road to get to where I'm at today. But I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, because I've learned so much along the way. So I am going, excuse me, I'm going to encourage you to all to start your own transformation journey today. Reflect on your life, set clear goals, seek support from others, embrace your changes, and be patient with yourself. Trust that the transformation that you seek is within you already. And remember, you didn't get to that point overnight. It was a buildup of years of negative talk and listening to other people giving you negative information that got you where you are. But if you will trust that the excuse me, you'll trust that the transformation you seek is within you. Wow, what a journey. What a journey. So until the next time, please open yourself up and remember to always, always keep the faith. Brian.
Thank you, LaWanna. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question for you. Do you go into the schools and volunteer and try to build up other people's self-esteem, sharing, your growth and the different opportunities that you've had?
I have done that. In fact, I was working with a group of women who were trying to make they're trying to reinvent themselves, so to speak. It was called, I'm trying to remember the name of that shelter, but it was great to go in there once a month, because there were 4 of us, and each one of us took a weekend, and we would go in and we would teach classes to them, giving them life skill information. I've done that. I've also worked with youth, because Toastmaster had a youth leadership program. I'm telling you, it is fun to work with teenagers and getting them to get up there and speak. And sometimes they are so shy, but when that first time they get up and they open their mouth, what a difference it makes. I worked with young adults as well. I taught personal development before I crash landed here to build myself back up to young women and actually put them in fashion shows and things like that. So yes, I've done a lot of volunteer. I worked with a program called People in Need, where we gave out food every weekend. We went to the supermarkets who gave us day old food and came back and set it up like a store, and they would come in and select what they needed.
Yeah, thank you. Truly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All right. So thanks so much, Dr. LaWanna, and